This is my favorite card that I make. Well, it's my current favorite card. With a simple back fold on the front, it turns a regular card into something special. And I like it because it has the little surprise of the wavy edge on the front and the inside of the card. When it stands, it looks equally as impressive as it shows off that decorative edge. I'm going to show you how to make this simple yet unusual little card during my crafting day. Now let's get crafting.
Here's what you're going to need for the card. You're going to need one sheet of 8.5 by 11 cardstock as your base. This is the only full sheet of paper that you'll need, and we're going to use most of it. You're also going to need 2 pieces of pattern paper that coordinate together. Choose one that's more of a smaller print or background and one that has more of a distinctive print. You can use scraps because you only need a small piece of each. You'll also need one piece of coordinating solid cardstock. And then if you have ink or a marker that is similar in colors and complements your pattern paper, grab that. You'll also need a paper cutter with a decorative cutting blade or decorative cutting scissors. Have on hand any stamps, stickers, or greetings that you want to use for your card also. Now you can use embossing, stamps, stickers, glitter gel, liquid pearls, or anything to embellish your card when we're done. The possibilities are really endless. Just pick whatever goes with the pattern paper that you choose. Now grab your favorite paper cutter or scissors, tape, craft glue, and let's go. Here are the measurements you'll need for this card. You can see that you're going to use the white cardstock to cut all 4 pieces, the card base, the 2 decorative pieces, and the greeting piece. Remember to save the scraps when done because we will use this for stamping as part of our embellishments. The rest of the pieces you need are small, so if you have any scraps, this is the perfect project for them. Now let's get all the pieces cut. It'll only be 7 pieces, so it should be pretty quick. After all the pieces are cut to size, the next thing you're going to want to do is to cut the wave pattern on the 2 pieces of the card base that are measured 4 1/4 by 3 1/4. I find the best way to do this is to cut them both at the same exact time so that you get the same exact wave pattern. And there's multiple ways you can do this. If you have a decorative blade, rotary cutter, that's the easiest. Use that. If you don't, maybe you have some decorative scissors, and they'll work just as well. Another option is more dramatic, is a paper edge punch, and here you can get a very detailed cut. But whichever way you choose to do, make sure you do both pieces at the same time so your pattern matches up identically. To add some dimension to the card, I'm going to burnish some of the pieces. To burnish just means to add ink to the edges. I'm going to do that here with a little inking brush, and I'm focusing most of the color on the corners and then blending down the sides. I'm going to do just the decorative edge on one piece for the front of the card and all the edges for the piece inside the card. Another advantage of burnishing the edges is that if the pieces aren't perfectly lined up on the card, this will conceal that. Now if you don't have an ink pad, you can actually do this with a marker or colored pencils, or just skip it altogether. To fold the card base, line up the top edges and fold the card in the center just like a typical card. And use a bone folder or an old credit card to push down towards the fold. It'll give you a nice crisp edge. Now for the twist. Fold the front panel back upon itself. Line it up and press towards the fold, and now you have a card base that looks like this. Now I'm going to assemble the inside of the card first and then work on the front. And start with the base layer of pattern paper. Make sure to add tape along the edges in the center so it sticks securely. Line up the top and the sides for an even edge. Now take the decorative paper that is burnished on all edges and center that on the paper, and the inside is done for now. On the front, put the base layer on the flap. Now when putting this down, make sure it lines up with the pattern paper on the inside of the card. Both pieces are the same size, so that should be easy to do. And make sure you use enough tape or glue, because this will be holding the front panel on. To assemble the decorative edge layer, layer first the solid cardstock and then your greeting layer. Now before I add any tape to the front piece, I will line up the 2 decorative edges. I make sure to see where the card overlaps the front flap. Then flip it over and tape only the area that will overlap the front flap. Now to assemble and ensure that the decorative edges will match, I'm holding the front flap down and holding the decorative front panel at an angle so that the tape does not touch the card yet. I'm going to line up the decorative edges, and when they match, I'm going to press down to the left as I'm going to lower the card onto the front flap. And just like that, your card is assembled with the decorative edges lined up perfectly. Now let's start adding your embellishments. I took the scraps from the cardstock and stamped some snowflakes on them in shades of blue, and then I cut them out with my die cutter. I added some glitter and gloss to them to give them a little bit of sparkle. Now I'm going to add 3 snowflakes on the front, and when embellishing, it is pleasing to the eye to work in odd numbers, 3 or 5. And so we don't leave the inside of the card out, I'm going to add 1 flake in here.
Now your card is done. I've done a few versions of the card because I love it so much. I did the sunflower version with the decorative punch edge. With so many options, you can use this card for any occasion or holiday. So take out your decorative scissors and change up the look of your cards with a simple fold. I hope you liked the ideas and tips I gave you. If you did, I would appreciate if you would click the like button below. And if you want to see more videos like this, hit the subscribe button, and I'll keep sharing my creative days with you. Until our next creative day.